Hi, my name is Chris Adding from the Veterans Law Blog. I'm an accredited VA attorney, an Army veteran, and since 2007, I've been leading veterans through the fog of VA claims and appeals at veteranslawblog.org. I want to talk to you for a moment about service connection and what it really means in a VA claim or appeal. On the blog, I talk a lot about the four pillars of a VA claim, the four things that you need to build up strong in your VA claim or appeal to have the best chance of proving up your VA claim a lot more easily. One of those four pillars is the pillar of service connection, and it is often the hardest of all of the four pillars for most veterans to build and prove. The reason it's so hard for most veterans to build and prove this pillar of service connection is that most veterans think of VA service connection as a single element, Nexus. In reality, it's more like a bridge. A bridge connects two pieces of terrain. Without a bridge, the land on either side of it would be, well, unimportant. In the context of VA service connection, what does that mean? On one side of the bridge is your in-service event or symptomatology. Most times this is going to be something that happened to you in service, a wound sustained in combat, an injury sustained over time like a knee or a back injury. But it does not need to be a single event or diagnosis. It can be an injury, a series of injuries, an illness, a set of symptoms, or even an exposure, like exposure to Agent Orange, exposure to the chemicals at the burn pits in Southwest Asia and the Middle East. We call this element the in-service event, illness, or symptoms element. On the other side of the bridge is your current diagnosis. With one exception, you will need proof of a diagnosis of a medical condition. That exception, which is too complex to go into in this video, is Gulf War syndrome, or what the VA now wants to call chronic multi-symptom illness, where you need only to show a series of chronic and undiagnosed symptoms. What connects those two things together is the bridge, the nexus. In a word, it's proof that the two sides of the bridge I just talked about are related. Nexus simply means that there is a relationship between your in-service event and the currently diagnosed medical condition. You need only prove that it is at least as likely as not that your in-service event, illness, or injury are related to your currently diagnosed disability, condition, illness, etc. But merely telling the VA that something happened or that something is diagnosed is not enough. You have to prove it, and you have to prove it to them cleanly. To prove the element of service connection properly, you're going to need to add 5-star evidence of each of those three elements. It's not enough to say, as so many veterans do, that they hurt their back lifting artillery rounds. I've lifted them, I know. It's not enough to say you blew out your knees running 12 miles in jungle boots with an 80-pound ruck on your back. By the way, if you've ever known that, you know the hell that that will wreak on your knees. You will need enough 5-star evidence to prove that those incidents that you talked about happening in service occurred. You will need enough 5-star evidence to prove that you have the current diagnosis. But more than that, you're going to need to be able to present that proof in a manner that is persuasive to a federal government bureaucrat at the VA. So, here's a few resources to help you learn how to accomplish these goals. First, subscribe to the Veterans Law Blog at veteranslawblog.org. We have over thousands of posts of information, more than a dozen ebooks and field manuals that are all downloadable, and hours of training videos teaching veterans how to figure out what they need to prove in their VA claims or appeals. Second, you can learn all about 5-star evidence in the VA Claims Evidence Manual. I'll tell you all about the 3 types of evidence that you need in a VA claim, what makes that evidence 5-star evidence, and how to submit it to the VA. But third, you need to learn to submit your evidence in a way that is more persuasive. And to do that, you can use my training program, Get to the Point. In this training program, I'm going to teach you how to write in such a way that it gets the attention of the VA and that the VA wants to issue a favorable decision on your claim. I'm also going to give you 7 tips for editing your claim that alone would fix 80% of the writing problems in your VA claims arguments. So stop by the Veterans Law Blog at veteranslawblog.org, where you can find all the resources that I've discussed in this video. We'll see you on the Veterans Law Blog. Until then, take care. Have a great day.